up YouTube? It's your boy Junior, aka Semi, and welcome to Semi2 Tech, the channel that brings you everything from product reviews, tech reviews, app reviews, all the way live streaming and live gaming and everything else in between. So if you like all that stuff plus more, then stay tuned to the channel. And before we get started with this great new video, if you haven't done so already, right here, the subscribe button right here, click on that. And once you click on that, you make sure you click right next to it, the little bell right here. Enable bell notifications so you get notified for every single video I come out with or anything I come out with. As well as don't forget to like the video there and share it to all your social media platforms. Alright guys, thanks for coming back. I do appreciate all the love and support you guys show the channel. Remember, when I continue supporting the channel, all you gotta do is like all my videos, share my videos, comment on all my videos, and if you still haven't done so, hit the subscribe button and enable bell notification so you get notified every time I drop great videos like this one or when I go live. And trust me guys, you never ever want to miss a thing. Alright guys, so like I've been telling you for a while, I did get this case here. My PC case I've been waiting for actually. I finally got it, so, and I told you on my next video, on a future video, I'm going to put the PC together. I wasn't too sure how I was going to do it, either going to do a live show and just talk to you while I'm building the PC together, or do it as a video. So I decided just to do it with the video, just makes it easier than doing in the live show. Because sometimes it might take me longer, it might take me shorter, but at least this will cut it down and everything I need to do. So, like you see here, we see half of it, or part of it. I have my PC case here. And over here, I have all my computer parts that I'm going to be using. I'm going to show you everything I'm going to be using, and we'll take it from there. Like I mentioned on my last video, on the previous video, this is the Dark Phase V22 case. Very good airflow. We're going to go ahead and set that up. I'm going to show you all the parts I'm going to be using, and then we're going to go on putting all the parts together. All right, stay tuned. All right, so the motherboard I'm going to be using is the MSI X299 Raider. It's a ATX form factor motherboard. It does have an i7 7900 12 core CPU already installed that I have put in there. It's my old CPU. This one takes about 128 gigs of RAM, so you can stick up to 16 gig sticks all through all the 8 ports there. It has 4 PCI slots with a PCI Express here, so you put multiple graphics cards in there if you want. And this is just the motherboard. This is gonna go in here. When you work on PC, you always want to use an static wristband on here, but since I haven't used this and all the static is already drained from here, I don't have to wear it at this time. But if you're working on your PC and you just turn it off, always make sure you use the static band so you don't fry any parts on your PC. So this is the motherboard. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this PC downwards here, open up the case, take off the glass so I don't break it, and take it off. And I'm going to lay the motherboard down. All right, I got to screw this down. Next thing I'm going to be using is an M.2 piece, internal hard drive. This is a 1 terabyte, which I'm going to put in here. So it's going to be all set up for that. And then I'm also going to be using an all-in-one cooling system for my CPU coolant. It is my older one. All right. So I do have an all-in-one cooling pack right here. As you see, I'm going to be installing this one. The fans are in the box. This is one this is like a no-name brand one, but it still works. I've had it for years and it works. So we're gonna put that in here too. Everything's gonna be black. I don't think I'm gonna put any RGBs in this one. So we're gonna leave it like that. Like I said, I have regular. I actually have. Oh, these are little used ones because they're a little dirty. But these are Corsair fans, non-RGB. So we're gonna put these in there as well. And with the M.2, I'm also going to be installing these 2 extra hard drive. This is a 5 terabyte hard drive here. It has a bunch of softwares, a bunch of stuff that I have on my PC regularly. And over here is another 3 terabyte hard drive. This is where I keep all my games, gonna put all my games in this one. And just so it can keep the load off of the M.2. The M.2 is just strictly for important softwares and my operating system, so it can boot a lot faster. This is just for backup. So if I do something bad to these, if I install something wrong on these and these go bad, at least my M.2 is secure, nowhere affected. So that's why I have 2 extra hard drives. All right. So as far as the power supply, guys, I'm gonna be installing this EVGA 600 watt power supplies. This is the 80 plus bronze edition. So it's a good power supply. The reason I didn't use it on my new build, I replaced my new one for my new one with a 1200 watt one, because I did get the 3080 on that one and it required a lot more power than this one will. But this one, I'm gonna put my old graphics card in there. I'm gonna put my 1070 in there. Again, it's not gonna be for major gaming. That's why I got that PC for. This is gonna be for everything else. Some editing, some basic stuff. It's gonna be a secondary PC. I can do VR in here, so that's good. So I'm gonna be using this power supply. This is good enough for what I need it for. So, all right, so now let's get to the PC and start putting stuff together. Showed you all the parts I'm gonna be using. Hopefully you could come along and watch everything I do. All right, stay tuned. All right, guys, I did find my graphics card. This is the 1075 gigabyte. So as you see, the difference is very small. I still get a DB port, HDMI, and 2 DVI ports. So it's good enough to do VR and pull dual monitors and everything. But then again, I can't push big games like Call of Duty. I did Call of Duty on this before. It pushed it, but I had to put all the settings to the lowest as possible to run it cleanly. Now, if I want to run Cyberpunk, it's not going to run on this. I don't think it'll even come close to even running it. I'll try it when I do get everything put together and run the PC. I'll try to run Cyberpunk and see if it works, but I doubt that it'll work. But yeah, I just wanted to show you real quick before I get started that I do have my 1070 right here by Gigabyte. I'm going to end up upgrading this later on down the future, but right now, since this is the extra part that I have, I'm going to just use it for now. All right, perfect. All right, guys, so the first thing I'm going to be putting in is the power supply. I told you this is the 600 watt EVA 80 plus bronze edition VGA card. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in. All right, I'm going to put it, it goes right in the bottom. So this makes it a little bit easier to put it in, so that's good. So I like how I could take it from the top with an NZXT case. Since this bottom part is closed off, I actually have to do it from the back. All right, we got that there. So this is very tight. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run these cables through the back and run them out. So when I put the motherboard, these wires are not showing, they're hidden in the back. This is to power the actual motherboard. These 2 clips right here. This powers up the motherboard and all the components inside of it. This is for the graphics card. So you guys know that. So this, I'm just gonna run it in the back here. I'm gonna take off the back case in this case now. As I'm doing here, removing this back case to make it easier. This right here, this area right here, this is where they put this imitation hard drive in here, a box for a hard drive. But that's where the hard drive goes. I'm gonna put the 5 terabyte one in there first, because that's the one I want to use for in there. This is gonna be my main one. The other one's just a gaming one, so I'm not gonna really need it too much. So I'm gonna slide that one in like it normally would. There you go. Slide it right in, guys. Look at that. It's in there. It's not coming out. I could take it out by removing this plate up top, but that's fine. I'm gonna leave it like that. All right. And like I said, I'm gonna run these cables back here. One's gonna be for the motherboard, and one's gonna be for the CPU. So I'm gonna leave these out here and put the motherboard in. One thing I did want to do first, this plate right here, is to put the plate for your plugs, so you don't have a big open space, because not all plugs are the same, but the location of the plugs are always the same. And since, like I mentioned before, this is going to be on top, remove this cover here, And right in here, right here is where the plate goes and all the plugs gonna go. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that plate in there. There you go. See, now there goes a plate, so all the plugs go right there, so I can plug it in and I'll come out right through here. All right. I do have, this is thermal paste. This is what you put between the CPU and the cooling fan. So that will save that for later. For now, I'm gonna close up this top thing off, just to make it easier so I don't break it or anything. Like I mentioned before, I've already put the CPU on here. What a lot of people do is they put the bracket on here already for the cooling system, which is already on here. The bracket already came on here, but they always say put the cooling in first and then put it on. It makes it easier. I don't find it easier. I always find it easier just to put this motherboard in with the CPU already in there and then put the cooling in there. So what we're gonna do is gonna turn this around, put it on the flat side like it is now, like here. Keep this out, and I'm gonna post it where it should go. And that's where exactly it's supposed to go. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put the screws in and each point where it goes, so we can make sure it's locked down here secure and doesn't go anywhere. So give me a second. All right, guys. So I did find the box of screws that I have from my PC stuff. I needed them because the motherboard didn't have extra screws when I put the new motherboard in. So I don't know how they expect you to put the motherboard in without any screws. So my new motherboard didn't come with any screws. So I used my old screws for the motherboard that I had on my old PC in there now. So thank God I bought these so many years ago and they work great. Gives me everything I need and it gives me enough to put in here. So now I'm just gonna bolt down the CPU, the motherboard onto the board itself. So once this part is done, I could go ahead and get started by putting all the other components in. But this is one of the main components that we need to do. And thank God for this magnetic tip screwdriver. Makes life so much easier when you're working on computers like this. And everything is lining up perfectly, which I love. I love when everything goes in perfectly and no issues at all. I just gotta make sure that I put one in every hole that needs to go to. So there's 2 more there. All right, so I got that part in. I think I got every screw in for the on. I got 1 more for the motherboard over here. I just noticed it. You always gotta double check all your stuff, guys, because you do one little slip up, it could be a big problem. So you gotta make sure you have all your screws in because the screws act like a ground as well. Oh, so I see I have another one over here too that I gotta make sure I put in. And I believe there's a total of 8 screws that hold down the motherboard. I don't know if all motherboards are the same, but there's 8 screws on this one so far. Just gonna check everything again, make sure all the main screws are all hooked up. And I'm missing one on this side, so there's 9. So there's 3, 3, and 3. So I got 1 here that I gotta put in. See, that's why you always gotta double check everything, make sure everything's correct, so you don't mess up down the road. All right, perfect. All right, so over here I got the power that goes right here for the CPU, and then for the remember when I told you this top button over here, or this USB, it has its own plug right here, which is right here, guys. These are the plugs. Now all these plugs are all labeled. If you guys don't know where they go, my suggestion is look at the manual. You don't want to second guess it. If you don't know what you're doing, review the manual and check each plug where it goes. I'm pretty good with this, so I know where all the plugs go. So I just want to let you guys know, make sure you guys know. Because there's been times on new components that I've never seen before, or never used before, that I had to check the manual, make sure I put it at the right spot, because you don't want to mess up everything. All right, so I know where this blue plug goes to. It goes to the USB port on the motherboard. So I'm gonna open this up real quick. Plug this one in first. So these are all gonna go on the bottom. Since the plug is over here on this side, they already have a pre-hole right here, knowing they're gonna put all the stuff through here. So I'm just gonna run all the wires in here. And once I run it here, I'll plug everything in. And once everything's plugged in, I can move the cables back and zip tie back here. So it's all tied up and very well organized. So I'm gonna pull this in here real quick so you guys can see. And actually, the motherboard one goes right down here. So I'm gonna bring this one out here. I'm gonna leave this one hanging because this is for the graphics card, so I don't know where I'm gonna run this one in, but I know this one I have to run it like this. You see how the wire comes up here? I'm gonna have to do it like this. So I'm gonna leave this one like here. I'm gonna put the motherboard back down. Oh, I just dropped all my screws. Great, I gotta pick that up. So now, you see the motherboard plug is right here. So I'm gonna plug that in right there. So now power is going to the motherboard. That's plugged in here. The blue cable that I told you, this one right here, will be plugged in right here. I ran it in the wrong hole. I got to run it underneath and bring it over here so it could be a perfect fit. So I'm going to go ahead, take all this out again, and then rerun it. So we're going to take this out here. Bring this out. And I guess everything runs on the bottom now. So this blue plug will go right there. And it's plugged in, as you can see right there. Look at that, guys. Very simple. And boom. We'll leave it like this for now. All right, guys. So I went ahead and connected the front panel switch, which is right here. The CPU plug for the power, which is the other plug that I confused it with the GPU plug. That goes to another part of this power supply that's different. But that's the CPU power plug. And the motherboard power plug right there. That's the USB plug there. And then over here is the audio one. So I got those connected for the front switch and on the board. So now all I gotta do now is connect all my components in, and that's what we're gonna do next. All right, guys, so the first thing I'm gonna do now, since I got all the wires connected and everything, all I need to do is start putting in all my components like I mentioned, and I'll put in my coolant in first. I'm gonna plug the coolant. The coolant's gonna go like this, or probably like this. I don't know how I'm gonna adjust it, but for now I'm gonna put it like here, and I'm gonna have to screw this in. And this is pretty simple. But remember, you're like, okay, where's the fans? I'm gonna put the fans on the other side. So we're gonna plug this in first. So now I know which ones I gotta be in here. It's the same one I use for the power supply. Thank God for these all extra screws that I have. Or else I'd be kinda SOL. All right, all four in. And now on this side, I'm gonna put the fans. So I'm basically gonna go ahead and put, how should I put this, going in this way? Or I'm gonna go ahead and put it in this way. I'm gonna put these as intakes first, and the front panel ones I'm gonna put as exhaust. So once I get this all set here, or these are gonna go right, just like that right here. That's simple, guys. See how that looks? So these screws right here, because they're gonna go through here and attach the panel on there. So I'm gonna take these, put them right through here, and then right there. That's simple, guys. Look at that. Let me come around here so you guys not see better, but it could be better for me. And you guys are wondering, why didn't you pull down the cooling already? Reason I didn't do the cooling yet, because of the fact is I still gotta put the thermal paste on there. So I didn't want to do that yet. So I just wanted to put the fans in first because it'll give me more room to put the screwdriver. So as you see right there. I could have put these fans on first. I didn't think about that, but that's okay. I'm better with my right hand. So that fan ain't moving, and I can hide the wire wherever I want to from there. Now, again, I have the second one here. As you see, I got these extra screws here. And these are going to be my intake ones. Actually, my exhaust. So the airflow is going to come in like this, come out this way like that. Oh, so I don't know how you say it. It goes in this way, comes out this way. Put it this way. I don't know how you want to say intake or exhaust. I'm going to do this one like this with the wire stick. That wasn't good. Now I got to make sure I get all those screws out. But it happens, so I'm going to put this in like this first. Actually, really keep this off the desk. But hey, that's what happens when you're in a rush and don't do it properly. When you're building a computer, guys, take your time. There's no rush to it. Unless you only have one computer, then I guess you got to be in a rush. All right, so I got all two fans there. I got these screws here that I'll worry about later because these are the screws that I'm gonna use to put in my front. So I'm gonna put these to the side real quick. All right, so here is your CPU fan that you connected to your motherboard. Well, it depends how you set this up. All right, so I don't know how I want to do this. I don't know if I want to do it like this or probably put it up here like this on top. So it just, yeah, I'm going to do it like this. It just seems so much easier if I do it like this. All right, so before I flip this over and take out the screws that fell in, I'm going to unscrew this. And hopefully, I'll get the rest of them, whatever is missing. I'm just not being smart about it. All right, so what you want to do when you put the coolant, the thermal paste, the recommended one is a pea size coolant right there. Then you just put there, and then when you push it down, it goes across. People do it so many different ways. People do X's, people do squares with an X in the middle. It all depends how you want to do it. Really, as long as you know you put enough thermal paste on there, then you're fine. I'm gonna do the X with a little bit of a P in the middle. To me, it looks easy, looks better that way. It feels like it's gonna be more. Okay, so I'm coming with the heatsink that comes in with the coolant when I bought it. So as it's there. So basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put in the coolant there. Put the P side in the middle, and I'll put a little bit on the side there. To the side of there. So I got all four corners, and I'm gonna put a little bit more in the middle. Okay. All right. All you gotta do is make sure that none comes out on the side, so it doesn't touch the board itself. If it comes out a little bit on the side, as long as it doesn't touch the board, you're fine. But that's how it should look when you put it in. I don't know if you can see, hopefully you can. And once you do that, you just basically put the thing on top, or however you want to do it. I'm gonna do it like this, to the side. Make sure you put it on correctly, because once you put it on there, it's. And every time you change this, it should be done like every 2 years, 2 to 3 years, changing the thermal paste on here. Just makes it easier. So now I got it on there, squeeze it down, and that's it. Now you put the screws in and you make sure it's tying down equally. So now you're all set. Every time you remove your coolant or any type of heat sink on here, you have to replace the thermal paste. So you clean it off, which I already cleaned it off before starting this. I cleaned it off. So that's why you didn't see me clean it up. I cleaned it before I even started this project. Like when I took this whole setup apart, I actually took off the thermal paste at that time, because I didn't want to worry about it later. So you saw I've got all 4 screws on there. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna manually screw it down tighter. But I'm gonna do it. I'm trying to do it equally on each side, so it's all even with no issues. So now it's under tight, not coming out. Perfect, look at that. And now all you do with this wire is connected to the CPU fan, which is listed right up here. CPU fan listed is labeled as CPU fan, so it's actually over here. So I'm gonna bring it over here. And that's it, I'm done. And I just hide these cable down here the best I can so it doesn't look so nasty. I'll fix it once I pick it up, and I'll put the wire towards the back so it looks a little bit cleaner than what it does right now. Remember, I had these RGBs installed on my older PC, which is actually upgraded. So I'm gonna take my old RAM that I had off there, which is 32 gigs, 16 sticks each. So there's 2 sticks of 32 each. 16 each, so total of 32. I'm gonna put it on there. Like I said, normally I will just put I will go ahead and put the lights in it, but I'm gonna keep this light friendly. I'm not gonna put any lights in it. It's gonna be like a dark version, I guess, if you want to call it that way. So I'm gonna put these in, and they go in one way, so you gotta make sure you put them correctly, guys. Don't try to force it in and then I'm going in smoothly. And see, I put it in wrong, so I put it in the wrong way. Boom, perfect. All right. And then you look at me putting it, why are you putting one there and then one on this side? Because I'm gonna put this one over here. And you're wondering, why am I doing that? All right, because if you put them next to them, you're only gonna get single-sided DIMMs. Since this is a dual DIMM sticks, you have to put them in these special orders. You can read the manual on your motherboard, how it goes. I already know which slots they go into. So it's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, if I did 4. But this is 2, just this one and this one over here. There's the 3rd slot here and 2nd slot over here. That's how I already knew that. All right. So now we have these 2 plugs. These will go on system fans. You just find the ones that say SYS fan, and then you just plug them in, which they're over here for me on this side. So basically I'm gonna run these to the back and then put them out and bring them out over here. I got this other fan here, but these 2 fans are gonna go in the front here. So you heard some of them fall out, some of the some screws fell out, but that's okay. So
So now I'm gonna take the fans and bring them out here. That's the one fan, and then I'm bringing the other fan out. Bring them out the same hole just to make it easier so I know where they're at. Boom. So basically I'm gonna run these across to this side of the chip. Yeah, I'm gonna put them like this because it's the length that I need on this side. All right, I'm gonna put this right back down. Don't worry about that, guys. Okay, so now I got the 2 wires right here. Now I just connect them to the system fans, which are this one here. And now those 2 fans are there. The CPU fan is there. And I'm done for right now. And now I'm gonna put the RAM in. All right, I did the RAM. Now I'm gonna do the SSD. So this is the M.2 right here. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see it. It's a 1 terabyte. I don't know. It's a Western. Is it a Western Digital? No, it's a Crucial SSD M.2. So this will go here. This motherboard has 2 slots. It has this one here, and it has this one here. So you could put 2 SSD if you wanted to. So this one I'm gonna put it here, which goes up here first, and then boom, you put it down, and then you put the screw in, and that's it. Your SSD is gonna go there. The reason I put it there because the graphics card goes here, and since the graphic card goes there, it's gonna go over the SSD card there. So since I'm never gonna take this out, this is gonna be my operating system. I'm gonna leave that one there since that's the perfect place for it. And speaking of the GPU, I'm gonna put it right on top of here. So I'm gonna have to take this one out. I'm gonna take out the GPU out first here. Well, I'm gonna take out the slot for it first here. Here's your GPU. It's actually 2 slots here. So this one takes 2 slots, so I have to take out these 2 right here. Take them out. And then this one's gonna slide right in here. All I have to do is plug it in to the first PCI slot, find the screw hole, and then screw them on. And that's it. That's how you connect the GPU. But when you do connect the power supply, make sure that's the power for the GPU. You gotta make sure that one plugs into the power supply, or else your GPU ain't gonna work. Because it's gonna try to pull power from the motherboard, and that's not gonna work properly. Believe me, I've done that problem before. The computer will turn on, but no video picture showing, because there's not enough power going to the GPU. And that's how you install your GPU. All right, guys, so you see GPU's in, CPU, cooler's in, the RAM's in. The only thing I got left to put in, besides starting to hook everything back up, would be my capture card. Because of course I'm gonna add a capture card in case I wanna do some gaming on here, and I just wanna hook up the PlayStation or hook up my Xbox, whatever I wanna hook up. So I already have a capture card. Which is the Blackmagic, my old one, not the 4K one. The 4K one from my Blackmagic is actually installed on my other computer, and this one's the regular Blackmagic, which is this card right here. So I'm gonna go and hook this up right here on the PCI Express, and this only takes 2 plugs, so I'm gonna plug it in right there just to make it easier. I'm gonna grab my screwdriver, unscrew this part here. Take that out. Take that out there. Plug it in here. And that's it. Or I have to just screw it down. Look at that. Look how lovely that looks, guys. Look at that. That is so lovely. Look at that. Boom. So I got my graphics card and my capture card all installed in one. And I still got 3 other slots to put 3 other things in here when I feel like it. All right, that's why I said this one's gonna be a simple one. The only thing I have left to do is hook up the hard drive, the rest of the power cables, and the 2 fans in the front. I'm not gonna bore you with that. I'm gonna go ahead and finish that myself. And then once everything's done, I'll come back and show you the finished product, how it looks. All right, let's continue this. All right, guys, so as you can see, I did finish everything up. I put all the fans right here. I put 3 fans here for all my intake. And then the 2 fans for exhaust on the coolant, for the CPU coolant. Got it all hooked up, power supply, the graphics card, the capture card, the RAM. The 3 fans right here are LED, so I did change my mind and I am gonna go ahead and put the LED fans in there. I'm gonna put the RAM LED too. Got that all set up. Looks pretty clean. You look at it, it's completely done. I don't need to do anything but just power it on and run it. For the LEDs on the fan, I did make a custom bracket. Not really a custom. I just put the button right on the top of here. You're not gonna be able to see, but it's right here. And you see, it doesn't move. That's how you turn on and off the fan lights. As you see, the graphics card is right there. And right there, you see my capture card is all lined up perfect. All the ports are right there. Everything looks clean. I just gotta run the wires whenever I do decide to connect this. And the only power wire that you're gonna see with a plug in the back will be the power cable that goes right down here. That's the only place for the power supply, so that's why it's there. And as you can see in the back where nobody can see, I have all the wires hidden here. This is the module for the LEDs for the fans, but all the wires are hidden back here, so it keeps everything nice and clean. I try to tie it up as much as possible so you can't see anything, but yeah, that's pretty much it right there. And in the front, it's a blank thing here. Here, if you ever want to change the fans, you pop this off, and there goes the fan there. It comes with a filter, so you got a filter here, which is pretty cool. The fans are there. Put the filter back, and everything's magnetic except for the front clip. The front clip is actually stuff you gotta clip in. Oh, hopefully I didn't break anything. There you go. As you see, it pops right in with no issues. And that's it, guys. That is my whole complete building my PC. I know I didn't show you every steps, but I did show you the main components. When I built this PC, I showed you when I put the motherboard in, I showed you when I put the coolant in, I showed you when I put these 2 fans in and one of the fans on this side. I put the capture card, and I also showed you the graphics card. I put that in. I showed you the main components. I didn't show you all the wiring and everything. That took a little bit longer. That's why I cut that out. But you saw how easy it was to put everything together. All the other wirings, you just got to make sure you know what you're doing or read the manual. Simple as that. All right, so let's go for my final thoughts. All right, guys, so we're done on working on my PC. As you see, everything was done. It was fun to do. I enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. You learned a little something. And if you have any questions on anything on here, I'm pretty good on PC, so if you have any questions regarding the PCs or any settings, let me know. I'll get back to you as soon as I can, when I can. But if you did enjoy this video and everything I showed you today, go ahead and give me a big old thumbs up. Show me all the love and support you guys love to show the channel. Also, don't forget to hit that share button, because sharing is caring. And you never know who might want to know how to build a PC. I didn't take to every single step, but I took you to the main components, how to do it. It's very simple. The wiring is, every motherboard is different on where it goes and where it plugs in. You just got to read your manual and read your board. Simple as that. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, always remember, you can put them down below in the comment box in the bottom, and I'll get to you as soon as I can, when I can, as fast as I can. And if you still haven't done so, at the end of this video, guys, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and enable bell notifications so you get notified every time I drop great videos like this one or when I go live. And trust me, guys, you never ever want to miss a thing. And that's it, guys. Until next time, this is Junior, aka Semi, signing out from Semi2Tech. Peace.